You are looking live at Newark High School Gymnasium in Newark, New York, home of the Newark Reds, and a key early season clash of these Finger Lakes East powers, the two-time defending champion and visiting Geneva High Panthers, taking on those same Newark Reds. I'm Dave Barnick, along with Kevin Korsaneski here tonight from this gymnasium in Newark, and we are pretty widely anticipating this contest. Kevin, good to have you back in the fold again. Good to see you, looking great as usual, and should be a good one.
It should be a great one. I was excited about this one since I saw the first release that Jim Sinacrobe had down at Finger Lakes 1. We have Geneva coming in with no losses in the league last year, and Newark coming in trying to upend the Geneva Panthers for the league title this year, and I think they have a great shot at doing so tonight. Opens up Finger Lakes East basketball, the two best teams in the league, and there's nothing not to be excited about except for the late start.
Well, you know, Geneva, according to Coach Bob Hevrilla of Newark, former Newark player, of course, that you played against, as I recall.
Bob was a little older than us.
He didn't play against you in Verk?
And maybe summer leagues,
yeah,
and different things like that, but not in high school. No, Bob.
But he pointed out that he sees both these teams as contending, but Geneva he rates as the preseason favorite, as two-time defending champions. When I told Coach Brian Miller, asked him to sum things up, and I told him what Coach Hevrilla said, he said, I will say the same thing to him. They are the team to beat. Although both coaches like their teams, there are some holes to be plugged. First for Geneva, where they lost Shane Sweeney, among others, from last year's championship squad.
Yes, they lost their starting backcourt, and Ryan Donahue and Shane Sweeney, and they have to fill those big shoes. You know, Shane did everything under the sun for Geneva. The team was always doing the right things in the right spot, and when they didn't, he made up for that. And when it was close at the end, he took the shot, and he made sure that this team was successful as they were last year. So how do they handle that this year is going to be the big key, especially coming in here into Newark, who has a great backcourt. Newark will be a little undersized tonight. Geneva's led by their inside tandem, and I think that's going to be the biggest key to the game, whether or not Geneva can handle Newark's man-to-man pressure.
And Coach Hevrilla said what we need to do to win is to rebound and to run. And he said they virtually blew a game because of poor defense down the stretch as they were up near Glens Falls at Skidmore College, I believe, and lost a heartbreaker, 59-57, or I believe was the score. And while Geneva was also traveling to Niagara Falls, where they performed much better, I'm sure, than the nearby Buffalo Bills. And they come into this game undefeated at 2-0, and we're about ready to have the national anthem and then starting lineups come your way. Any other keys to the contest? We know Newark has a tradition of press, as you just alluded to.
And, you know, Brian Miller has stated early in the season that if you play zone against them, they might struggle to shoot. I don't think Newark will do that tonight because they're a traditional man-to-man team, like you said. And I think Newark now, over the last two seasons, is probably used to Geneva's 1-3-1 zone. If they can attack that and get into the gaps and shoot well themselves, I think they'll get Geneva out of that 1-3-1 zone and force their hand in a little man-to-man.
Is there a favorite between these two teams taking the home court out of the situation?
I think if you take the home court out of the situation, it'd be a pick. I don't know who would win this game. You know, I like the edge in Newark because they're probably going to be hungrier and a little bit more seasoned in the backcourt, and they're at home.
I know Coach Miller had said that he wishes this matchup maybe came a little later on the schedule by virtue of still trying to find the right chemistry with the 3 new starters. But there's a lot of great matchups during the course of the season. This is a key early one. It
is key, and it's too bad for Coach Miller. His loss is our game because I'm real excited about a early season matchup like this, and I think it's going to be a great night.
Well, we have Newark High School student Liz Klein about to perform the national anthem. So join her and join us. Actually, it looks like 5 students and maybe the choir or chorus conductor or teacher leading the way with that rendition as well. So we're about set to have the starting lineups introduced for the Geneva High Panthers visiting 2-0 from Geneva. It's Trevor DeDuro along with Ray Sims Jr., Steve Dogos, Terrell Johnson, and Akia Jackson. And if Jackson gets off to a quick start, Kevin Korzaneski, they may be calling this the Jackson 5.
I like it. We can go with it if you'd like.
And now the Newark Reds, and I'm sure you hear the volume of the crowd go up considerably with it when they are introduced, coached by Bob Hevrilla. It'll be Tyler Collins along with Jamie Rosser, Paul Dingman, Micah Wright, and pretty good all-around athlete and quarterback of the football team, Phil Tack.
We have a couple quarterbacks going at it tonight. Jack Walworth, I believe, will be coming off the bench for Geneva. He hurt his hand in football, but I think he's ready to go. I know it's bothering me. He looks like he's got it taped. These guys went at it in football as well, too, Dave, this year, with Newark getting the better of them in the league.
Both teams had very good seasons. Geneva winning the sectionals under Coach Mike Payne, who we actually interviewed at halftime of the Dundee Romulus game a week ago. So, Jeremy Hunt on camera, our director, Finger Lakes 1 manager, owner, Jim Sinacropi. He's saying, we're number 1 and Syracuse is number 2, and that's the way he likes it for now. Kevin Korzaneski and I'm Dave Parnick, and a pretty good crowd on this frigid December evening in the Finger Lakes for high school basketball.
Well, I'm getting some live updates here, Dave, from the Lions-Clyde game and the Minders-Wayne game, which are also 2 key early contests this season. And Minders is down at home against Wayne 22-17. And at the end of the first quarter, Clyde leads Lions 19-13.
I'm sure that's a packed house.
I got to imagine that there's standing room only out there.
Clyde Savannah, both number 1 on the cards of the power rankings of one Jim Sinacropi and Matt Verke. So, from Newark, we are underway, and the tap controlled quickly by Geneva, and the easy land by Akia Jackson. And answering just as quickly.
These guys want to get up and down a little bit, don't they, Dave? The crowd is very loud. The student section's across from us, but we got to allow the JV players are next to us, and this great start to this great game.
As expected, full court pressure. Geneva expecting it, broke it nicely, at least on that initial trip down court. Dolgus handling the point. And he's going to be called for a double dribble.
Got a little confused on that hedge by Newark. Picked up his dribble and started dribbling again.
So a quick start as we see Jeremy's replay. They're all knotted up at 2.
Yeah, what a great way to start this one. 2 quick baskets by both teams.
And a vociferous crowd on hand in Newark.
Geneva starts off with a man-to-man.
And our first foul of the evening.
A little bit too aggressive there by Geneva. That's a point of emphasis for the officials this year, is to watch the hand checking and that physical play when the guards are out on the perimeter handling the ball.
Dingman, I think, was, I think Micah Wright on that. I'm looking at the wrong squad. Stephen Dolgos. Here comes Geneva on the break. Off the window, no. And Newark running the other way, looking to run. And actually, I think Newark, Tyler Collins, a little bit fortunate. His head was down. He more or less ran into the Geneva defender, but.
And a silly foul by Ray Sims. You're that far away from the basket. He needs to stay on this court tonight, so he just needs to get back into half-court man-to-man, get settled in, and not pick up those fouls so far away from the basket. Tyler Collins, you'll notice, is very heady. He's going to control the game for Newark. A great ball handler, a good little point guard.
Rossmer lost the handle, and it'll go back the other way. So even though both teams scored very quickly, since that juncture a minute and a half ago, it's been sloppy and kind of nervous play by both squads.
Well, absolutely. Early on in the year, both teams have played a game or two. Actually, each team's played twice. 1-1 is Newark and 2-0 is Geneva. So they have some games under themselves. So that's nice, but at the same time, they're opening up against a big rival. It's a league game, it's early, and they're going to be nervous in this atmosphere.
So, man-to-man by Newark. Shot clock at 12. Could have been a double dribble again.
He did double dribble again, Dave.
Inside feed, doesn't get the roll, but the strong putback goes through for Terrell Johnson.
They have to get a body on Terrell Johnson and Ray Sims. They can't just jump up and down with these guys. They got to get some body into them and keep them from leaping above them.
Was that Akia Jackson that made the first bucket of the game for Geneva?
On the tip, Akia Jackson scored on the tip. Yep.
And here's another turnover, leading by a bucket, wanting some contact, no whistle, goes out of bounds. And Geneva will inbound underneath the Newark basket.
Both teams playing man-to-man out of bounds. That's traditional for both teams, so we'll see if either team can take advantage of that.
Our first 3 of the night, no. And a hold underneath. And I think they got Geneva on the personal. And that will be
Johnson. That's Terrell Johnson with a foul underneath, Dave. And, just a physical game to start. Both teams excited, want to get into it. And we've got 3 team fouls on Geneva.
4-2 your score. Newark will try to even it. A 3-ball would give them their first lead of the night. Newark won the preliminary, the JV contest, 58-39, as Newark has tied it up.
It's a nice feed from Dingman. He got Collins on the backdoor cut, and Collins finger roll up and in.
And now a Geneva turnover, and our first substitution is for Newark, and that'll bring Zoran Bratcher into the game. Z. Tied at 4. Under 5 to play, opening stanza.
Looks like they're trying to get an isolation down there for Micah Wright, I believe.
Inside foul. I think they may have got Trevor DeDuro on that foul. He had poor position defensively on the blocks.
Yeah, it looks like they called it right away when Michael Wright got it. They waved everybody else out and said, let's see if we can get it inside on him.
Shot looked good going, but it hit back iron out of bounds. Last touch by Geneva, another opportunity for the Reds.
I'm impressed with the physicalness of both teams and the athleticism. You know, I'm not sure if you saw this in the Romulus-Dundee game. We saw a little bit of it from Clyde and Minders, but these two teams are really getting at it early.
And an offensive foul will negate what would have been an easy lay-in.
Trevor DeDuro drew the charge there. A little far into the basket, but way out of control. And I thought it was a great call and way to sacrifice your body for the turnover.
I believe that's, no, it's his first foul.
Yeah, that's Micah Wright's first foul. That's Newark's first team foul.
Newark on the steal. Z lost the handle, but lay it up and in. Michael Wright with a bucket. 6-4 Newark. Their first lead. Three-pointer. Rims the hoop. No. Saved nicely. And boy, kind of a cheap foul again.
Tack, I think, right? And but still far away from the basket. It doesn't look like they're pressing. There's no reason for him to be up there. Now Michael Wright on the replay there, he's some kind of athlete. There's the Newark Crazies over there. They're pretty rambunctious tonight. I like to see that. Sometimes that's going away in the local high schools, and it's great to see those guys out there active and dressed up and ready to go. I could use one of those morph suits every time Jim puts us on TV.
Look at those signs.
And we both have a face for radio.
Nice. Well, apparently those guys do too, the faceless ones.
Yeah.
In the stretchies. Are those leggings put on backwards and upside down? I'm not sure. And we have a break. Brian Miller, protege and friend of one John Beeline, former Lemoyne, West Virginia, and Michigan coach.
Canisius as well. And that's where I think Brian worked with John Beeline. And Brian Miller, they played Victor and won 58-45 in the first game. And he went against one of the kids that he used to coach at Canisius, and Kevin Downey was a standout at Livonia. And,
Kevin Downey's father
was Tom Downey.
Right,
legendary coach.
Who did his internship under Jack Guinan at South Seneca.
Wow, there you go. All the ties coming together. And he's in his first year in Victor over there as the head of that program.
I'm sure they'll be successful.
Well, they should be better than last year. I believe last year they didn't win a game, so he can get that record improved very quick.
Newark's Z. Bratcher looking to inbounds on the sideline and brings it out front to Collins. Kind of gets me a little confused having a Collins playing for Newark versus Geneva.
Geneva, that's right. Collins, I believe, the son of Geneva coach as well, girls coach, Ed Collins.
So missing the rim, and Geneva will try to answer down by a bucket.
I like this by Newark. They're bringing in two subs off the bench.
Oh, pretty feed. Dogus on the break to Sims. We're tied at 6.
Newark's got a couple of kids checking in. That'll be 3 subs they made early in this game. It's probably good to let your starters take a deep breath on the side, get themselves back into it mentally, and get them back in.
Nice dish off. This time, no charge, and a great feed. And the bucket by Dingman.
That was a great drive and dish by number 11, Jamie Rosser.
Rosser's
got Ron Morris, number 3, is checking in the game. And he was a name we called last year down in Minders. We had a game. Ron Derrick had a good game, and he's a very good athlete, good ball handler for the Newark Reds as well.
So nip and tuck affair, under 3 first quarter from Newark. Geneva trailing, but they have the basketball.
another player that Newark is missing this year is Anthony Lombardi, who was a great player for them last year.
He was a workhorse. Stop and pop off the turnover, no. Scramble for the ball is kicked out of bounds. We'll see who it's last touched by. They say it'll stay with Newark. Yeah, Lombardi put on quite a show at the Arthur L. Baker Gymnasium.
Yes, he did. He was on fire.
He had those long, thick locks flowing as he hustled for the second and third opportunities underneath, and he bombed from outside as well.
Yeah, he was doing it all that night.
Dribbling in and out of trouble into the lane and tied up.
A great defense.
I believe that was Shamar Logan's.
That was Ray Sims.
Ray Sims.
Ray Sims with the tie-up. And obviously, Rosser very quick here. Beats him off the dribble, and then Sims is there for the help, and he ties him up for the jump ball. Stays with Newark, though. Dick Vitale wouldn't be happy with that. He'd like to see it go the other way on that jump ball.
For the effort.
Yeah, that's right. To be rewarded for that defensive effort.
Coming down to the 2-minute mark of quarter number 1.
I know Terrell Johnson's listed at 6'5", but look at how long his arms are. And he has some incredibly long arms, and that's tough to match up against if you're Newark inside. Newark
misses badly again. Here's the bomb the other way. Won't go. Controlled and saved by Geneva. Good effort by Geneva's Akia Jackson. And now we see a little weave out front. Johnson, count the bucket, and the foul.
Terrell Johnson just took it up a notch on that drive. If you notice here on the replay we have, he just looked at him and said, I'm going to the basket and there's nothing you're going to do to stop me. And he just bowled his way into the paint, a lot of body. They got the blocking foul in the and one. That's an impressive play. That's natural athleticism there by Terrell Johnson, and they're going to have a hard time stopping that.
Took the hit, stayed in the air, and went off the window. Foul shot is no good, and Newark has the basketball, tied at 8, taken to the lane, blocked again by Johnson. Can't be answered on the long rebound. Newark inside, loops it up, no. And here comes Geneva, a little breakaway, and unable to handle it, but Geneva gets it back. And waving off the basket, a foul before the shot. Newark is way off the mark with just about all of their shots outside the lane.
Yeah, they're struggling to shoot. Both teams really haven't knocked down. It's the game's been scored on the blocks tonight, and I got a feeling I can't tell which way it's going to go early on, and it's going to be physical, and these guys are going to have to work.
You are watching Section 5. There's an offensive foul that'll go against Terrell Johnson. I think that's his second personal. It is.
That's a heads-up play by Phil Tack. Johnson now with a second. He's probably going to sit a good chunk of this first half.
Some impressive moves by Johnson while he was in there, but he'll have to take a break. And Newark tied at 8 will try to get the lead back. A defensive struggle. Teams like to run, but except for that opening segment of the first 30 seconds or so, haven't been able to do so much. Little pop and stop and pop won't go. Rebound up and in on the good effort by Newark's Michael Wright.
Yeah, Michael Wright's all over the place. He's working really hard, going back and forth. And you don't see that called too often anymore, Dave.
He's got that hesitation move, though, that...
and Coach Brian Miller doesn't like it, but I wish they called a little bit more of that.
10-8, Newark, and they have the basketball. They may drain as much of the shot clock as they can.
Yeah, essentially the shot clock is off. There's about a half a second difference.
Could have been called and is for steps out front. That's Tyler Collins. So an intense game, but not free of mistakes so far.
No, and I think that you said it. It's intense. The intensity level is high. Both teams are really feeling it and trying their hardest. Both teams want this game. And, that's where Coach Brian Miller said he wishes it was later in the year. Because if it was a little bit later in the year, these teams would be playing a little bit better, a little bit more crisp. But that's what happens early on.
Of course, it will be later in the year in Geneva. Turnaround jumper, too hard, no. And they took that shot, giving Newark a chance if they heard 30-footer at the buzzer. No.
Great clock recognition by 22. You noticed that the time was running down, that Shamar Logan's off the bench, and that's a good shot. Just came up a little short.
We'll be back with more high school action. Geneva and Newark, the home team in front 10-8, right after this.
We hold on to the things that really matter. Welcome to Generations Bank.
Hi, I'm Alan Larson. At Seneca Meadows, landfill gas is used as fuel to generate electricity to power between 12,000 and 18,000 homes. And because this fuel is burned at high temperature, it doesn't go into the atmosphere. To learn more, watch our videos at senecameadows.com.
Well, we got a good one brewing here in Newark. Low scoring, tightly contested, 10-8. The Reds in front of Geneva, and Geneva will bring it down court. What impressed you about that first quarter, Kevin?
Well, the physicality and the athleticism of both teams is very impressive. We talk about Geneva's big guys, but Micah Wright, Jamie Rosser, they might not be 6'5", but they're athletic, and they get to the basket pretty quick. Newark opens up here with a zone, and Geneva makes them pay.
Jack Warwick with a trifecta to open up the scoring here.
His wrists look pretty good on that one, Dave.
And here's a Geneva takeaway and a Newark foul.
Well, Newark opens up one possession into zone, and Coach Miller was on the Upstate Hoop podcast describing to Jim Sinacropi and Matt Verke a couple weeks ago that they struggle versus the zone, and as soon as they go into it, Walworth knocks down the three. And Sims had missed a couple early on.
One of the few players that demonstrated good form on any shot from the perimeter so far. Again, though, I don't think any team is led by more than two so far tonight.
Back and forth, and that's what we expect for most of the night.
Here's a baseline drive. Pretty play. The lane is good. Datillion Dennis with a bucket.
Another football player for Geneva coming out on the basketball court.
And a Land answering a nice bucket on
Phil
a
Tack
drive.
on the layup. That was Phil Tack. And keep in mind that both these teams have pretty deep football runs, Geneva more so, and that kind of limits your touches early on in the preseason. There's a lot of football players playing out here, and these guys were practicing a lot of football, not basketball early on.
And not only that, it's a different type of conditioning. You might be in great shape playing football in one respect, but it's entirely different playing the hoops. Another three ball won't go that time.
Yeah, good look off a set play there in the man-to-man that Newark had. I thought it was a great shot. He just couldn't get it to go.
FingerLakes1.com Sports, as we have a foul, is your site for this Finger Lakes East key matchup.
I tell you what, Jamie Rosser is quick with the ball. He can get by any of these Geneva defenders. He's shown it all night, and they need to slide, get a little bit lower, and try to keep him from going to the basket.
And the foul was on Walwork, and that will send Rosser to the line. No good.
And we have a Clyde Lions update. I'm getting the updates from Coach Zach Young's wife, Heidi Young, and she has Clyde 32, Lions 17 at the half.
White Savannah with some experience and size and obvious ability.
A lot bigger team, more physical than the Lions this year.
Rosser misses both free throws, so Geneva up by a point can extend the lead. Sims gives a pick to Dogas, who lays out for the three-pointer. His teammate can't get it to go. Nice block out.
Kia Jackson 0 for 3 from the three-point line early here, and he looks like he doesn't jump too much on the shot. I love the execution that Geneva's getting. They're getting a lot of good screens in their man-to-man set and running a nice-looking offense.
Shamar Logan's in the game, had that rebound. He has the ball now, and he is from a long line with that same last name here of Newark basketball players, as Tack takes it strong to the hole again.
Another great take by Tack to the basket. Newark up 1.
And a bomb answering for Geneva. I believe that was Walwork with another 3.
Walwork 2 for 2 to start the second quarter. Big spark for Geneva off the bench.
Tack tried to make it 3, blocked, but he gets it back, goes up strong. Nobody draws the foul. That aggressiveness is something you appreciate. Not a particularly big kid, but he is a fighter inside.
Watching that replay, they could have got Walwork maybe for an and one on that shot. He got hit a little bit, not too much. But Phil Tack is a workman down there.
Tack is listed at 6'1", 175-pound senior.
Well, playing big. You know, both these teams really want this game. You can tell early on, Dave.
One dribble at the line, misses short. They have yet to hit a free throw. That's 3 misses in a row from the charity stripe. Dave Barnick along with Kevin Korzaneski from that Hall of Fame team from Minders way back when. And 0 for 2 again.
Yeah, struggling from the foul line, Newark.
5 minutes remaining before halftime. We're going to have a special guest I'll tell you about in a second. We're also going to talk a little bit about the big race coming up this weekend.
This is my night off from the race, so we're only going to talk about it for a little bit.
I'll talk about it then.
I'll listen.
Geneva out front with the ball, leading by a deuce. Here's a three-pointer. No. Brian Miller wanted to foul. There was definite contact.
Yeah, definitely contact. And they've been calling that stuff all night, so the referees did a poor job on that. They missed that. And Walwork forced that 3 a little bit. Didn't get his legs into it. Kind of just threw it up with the hopes of it going in.
Miller working the officials pretty good. He got the high sign to calm down, coach. And what do we have, 5-second count?
Travel. And Coach Miller is right. He should have given the referee a little bit. And sometimes I think the officials have been doing a good job so far. But they clearly missed that one last time down.
Noah Barber comes in with the Baylor Bear shoes.
You like those sneaks, don't you, Dave?
Not really. Although they do match the security guys' T-shirts. Good ball movement at Geneva. Now it's slowed up a bit. Looping inside and a foul from behind. Not a whole lot of contact on that one. Maybe Miller's rants paid off.
Well, just keep it consistent. You know, if you're going to call it tight, call it tight. If you're not, then let the kids play. 14 team fouls already.
That's Collins' first personal. No shooting foul on that one.
And for the fans at home, they are supposed to call some more fouls. They're trying to get rid of some contact like they are in the college basketball game.
What a feed inside. Pretty play.
Screen the screener. Great job by Geneva. They set it up with a screen, then they come off a screen. You'll see it here on the replay. There's the guy setting a screen, then he's going to come off another one. Easy layup for Sims. Great play.
That's the kind of basket even we could make. So now Geneva, it seems like they're way up, being up by only 4. Now it's 1. Bullseye. Tyler Collins with the 3.
A nice looking shot by Tyler Collins. He's, like I said, heady little player, can dribble and shoot really well. And that looked like a clean defensive play.
Well, Barber took it strong to the hole, and his aggressiveness pays off with a trip to the charity stripe. As we see the replay of the nothing but nylon.
Pretty, very pretty, Collins.
3:20 remaining before halftime. And how about that? A made foul shot.
There's wall work out there. Look at him working his teammates just like he's quarterback in the football team, telling everybody where to go and what to do. I like that stuff.
1 out of 2 for Barber. Here comes Newark. And boy, he caught a break there. It looked to me like Jamie Rosser taking it to the hole lost control of the situation. We'd like to tell you that the United States Navy, if you've been waiting for something more in your life, America's Navy may have what you need, like opportunity for hands-on training in any of more than 60 high-growth fields, help with paying for a college degree, opportunities to travel worldwide while helping to change it. Work with cutting-edge technology, no experience needed to start. If you want to be part of something bigger than yourself, America's Navy can help you launch your future today. America's Navy, a global force for good. Contact them today at 412-395-4680. Geneva now with the basketball up by 2, and a nice spinning move, but not finishing, was to Durrell. Newark the other way. That's got to be steps.
That's steps. He kind of lost his footing and traveled there. Great call by the official.
There was contact, but only after a little traveling music, and I think Havrilla is telling him that.
Now we got an update from Seneca Falls. Might shock you a little bit here, Dave. Minders down 44-29 at home against Wayne at the end of the third quarter.
And you probably would think Luke Ruddy and company wanting very badly to exact some revenge after losing to the Eagles twice a year ago, but not the case. There's a deflection. Geneva still has a turnaround jumper. Bang! Ray Sims Jr.
Ray Sims is playing a great game so far this half. He's trying to pick up Geneva there. Got a nice little shot in the paint.
Newark tries to answer camp, but a good hustle play keeps the possession alive. Open 3 ball, no.
Jamie Rosser missed a 3 there. He made a 3 in their loss the other night, and with about 6 seconds left, and the other team came down and scored at the buzzer. That was a nice looking shot.
Mid-range jumper on the stop and pop by Rosser right there. And they needed that bucket. Only down 2. Whoa, my! Taking it strong to the hole. Geneva High's Noah Barber, and he'll go the line with a chance to convert the 3-point play.
That was a nice looking attempt and great finish.
Jeremy Hunt, as usual, with the excellent job on the camera.
That's a great finish getting it over there. We are getting some great replays tonight, aren't we, Dave?
As always, Jay Hunt. If only he could select better players for his fantasy football team. Inside move, bodying up.
That's too easy. You might want a front Rosser down there.
Rosser's second bucket, 4 points in the game, and a 2-point contest, and a steal. Dish off, lay-in, yes! And a foul.
Micah Wright from Rosser. You're going to hear a lot about those two this year. I really like how Jamie Rosser is playing this game. And here it is again, another and one and a good finish. Let's see if they can start making their foul shots, Newark. You know, the game's only 23-23, Dave, but there's a bit of excitement. You know, you'd almost think watching this game that it's about 40-40, the way the crowd's into it and the teams are playing. It is a close game. The scoring's not really high, but the intensity is, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
Well stated, Kevin. Largest lead of the night has been 4 by Geneva, and now Newark retakes the lead. First time this quarter.
Man-to-man.
And a timeout, Geneva, with 1:09 left. And we'll let you know that Seneca Metals provides responsible waste management for the next generation. See how they do it by watching their videos at SenecaMetals.com. And Generations Bank, the things you value in a bank are the deeply rooted values they've held for more than 140 years. That's older than Harold Weber and me put together. Learn more at mygenbank.com. Check out their new mobile banking app. Search for Generations Bank in the Android or Apple Store. And on a personal note, my congratulations to Generations Bank and their president or chief operating officer, Menzo Case. They had very nice publicity on a huge $250,000 donation for a women's shelter that I noticed this week.
They
and
do
I
a
wanted
great
to
job
pass
with
on
other donations. They're one of our major donators for It's a Wonderful Run as well, Dave. They do a great job at Generations Bank.
So Geneva, which has led in a tight contest most of the half, have the ball trailing by a point. And an offensive foul called. I don't know, may have been a little, that might have, I don't know how much contact from this angle.
I'm a big Duke fan, but that almost looked like a Duke flop right there, Dave. But he did have a better angle, and I think that's his second. So Geneva, down one, playing well with now two of their stars on the bench for the last minute. I thought they did a great job without Johnson in the game. Let's see how they do without Johnson and Sims for the last minute. Geneva in the 1-3-1.
Shamar Logans with the ball on the wing. Corner, jumper. Yes! Off the friendly bounce. Newark wanted but did not get the timeout. Probably to set up kind of special press, but they're up by 4. And now Geneva calls a timeout before the opportunity for a backcourt violation on a 10-second count.
Yeah, 2 quick timeouts by Coach Miller here that he had to use against the press. Hopefully that won't hurt him in the end, but we'll have to keep an eye on that one. It's going to be a full timeout. I think we just had a 30.
Was that a 3-point basket, that last one? Okay. And that's Jamie Rosser. And I have him for 7. 27-23. Glad to be with you. Let's take a quick look at our upcoming broadcast schedule, Kevin. And it'll be Pelmac at Minders a week from tonight. That is the Red Raiders at the Arthur L. Baker Gymnasium. You working that game, Kevin?
No, I don't think so. I think Matt Murphy's on the call with that, and Brendan Harrington. I love the Newark crowd over there, Dave. They are really getting into it and excited about the 3 that just dropped. This is a big possession for Geneva. Coach is telling them right now, let's see if he puts these guys back in just for an offensive possession, the guys with 2 fouls. And there you go. Sims is not in, but Johnson getting his first action in almost 8 full minutes on the clock. I think a smart move. He's only got 2 fouls. Don't pick up the charge, but let's see if you can get a bucket for us. And hopefully Newark can't get a breakout basket here in another hoop, because they've got a little bit of momentum going here towards the end of the half.
And Douglas has to try to avoid that move that has resulted in a couple first half turnovers. They do not want Newark to get a chance to extend this lead. And instead, we might have a Newark foul underneath.
Yeah, Mitchell DeWolf with those guys are really banging down low, and they got Mitchell with the foul, and he looks like he just checked in the game. If he's not going to play a lot, you got 5, you might as well use him.
The only thing sending Geneva player to the line is thus far Terrell Johnson, as well as his teammates, as well as everybody on the court, actually, from both squads. Not very successful.
I want to see if Coach Miller gets Terrell Johnson a sub here, if he makes these free throws to keep him off the defensive end so he doesn't get anything stupid before halftime.
Good call, Coach, and he misses the free throw yet again, so Newark with 7 seconds. Driving down, look out. He's right there, and the shot didn't go as the first half ends. That could have been the costly 3rd foul.
Right, yeah. Micah Wright should have taken that to the basket, I think. I thought he had him on his heels. Get your shoulders past the defender. Explode to the bucket for the easy 2.
Well, we're going to have one of these standout performers from last year's Geneva High squad, Jordan Donahue, joining us momentarily. But right now, with the score, Newark 27, Geneva Panthers 23. We'll take this break on FingerLakes1.com Sports.
We hold on to the things that really matter. Welcome to Generations Bank.
Hi, I'm Alan Larson. At Seneca Meadows, landfill gas is used as fuel to generate electricity to power between 12,000 and 18,000 homes. And because this fuel is burned at high temperature, it doesn't go into the atmosphere. To learn more, watch our videos at senecameadows.com.
Well, at the half, Newark, which trailed in a tightly contested contest, emerged with a 4-point lead over Geneva, 27-23. But anybody's ball game with a half to go, and our guest we know is rooting for the visitors. That would be Jordan Donahue, a great career at Geneva High. And Jordan, congratulations first of all for that. And what do you see in this first half so far?
Newark's controlling the game as of right now. Newark's controlling the game as of right now. Geneva needs to step up.
Try that again, Jordan.
Newark's controlling this first game right now. Geneva needs to step up, and they need to have a big first half.
Okay, he's going to give you a... We apologize for that technical glitch, and we're going to start this. We're going to start this again, Jordan. Tell me again, so our listeners and the viewers could see on your perspective of the first half of play.
Yeah, Newark's controlling the game as of right now. Geneva's got to kind of slow the game down, run their plays, get some things going. Jack Walrick's had a pretty good first half with 2 big threes. But our other key seniors like Junior Sims and Stephen Douglas, we need to see a little bit more of them.
And you've been on the receiving end in that locker room with Coach Brian Miller.
Yep.
Tell me, what would his demeanor be like right now talking to the squad?
Right now, he's just telling them to calm down. I mean, everyone's a little bit flustered. You can see it out in the court. But he's just trying to get the fellas calmed down, get them back in their game. They know they can straighten things up, and that's just what he's trying to get to them right now.
We're talking, of course, with Jordan Donahue, former Geneva High guard, and from your perspective, also, he was saying the experience losing yourself, Shane Sweeney, and others
Definitely
is something that's going to take a while to get this team to mesh.
Yep, they need a leader out there. As of last year when we were going in our senior year, me and Shane both knew that we were the leaders of that team and we were going to lead them throughout the whole season, and I believe that's what they're struggling to find right now. But hopefully they're going to pick it up in the middle of the season, and some big seniors are going to step up and control this team, because they can definitely go pretty far.
And tell our viewers what you're doing with yourself, Jordan, these days.
These days I'm just working and trying to get back and actually stay in shape, and I'm hoping to further my basketball career next year at a local community college. So
how badly do you miss it?
Real bad. I mean, this is giving me goosebumps just watching it, and
It does.
Yeah,
no doubt. And I think that's a good plan. Stick to it, because it's easy to get derailed and then have the regrets later on.
Yep, definitely. I'm still young, so still got a lot of time.
Especially standing next to me, you're very young. So,
Yeah.
Jordan, thanks for joining us. We wish both your team, Geneva, and of course yourself, all the luck in the world.
Thank you very much.
And Jordan Donahue, Geneva High Panther starter on last year's championship squad. And I'm Dave Barnick, along with Kevin Korzaneski. And we're going to keep it right here, or we'll take a break and be back with more halftime activity from Newark.
We hold on to the things that really matter. Welcome to Generations Bank.
Hi, I'm Alan Larson. At Seneca Meadows, landfill gas is used as fuel to generate electricity to power between 12,000 and 18,000 homes. And because this fuel is burned at high temperature, it doesn't go into the atmosphere. To learn more, watch our videos at senecameadows.com.
Relatively low-scoring affair, but a certainly intense contest. Newark trailing by anywhere from 1 to 4 points for most of the first half, now find themselves in front at home over Geneva, 27-23. Maybe some of that inexperience for Geneva showing its way, and we'll get Kevin's comments on that. But first, a brief look at that 5K race, special weekend in Seneca Falls, and a record-setting number of entrants for this year's affair.
I checked on the way up here, and Dave and I drove up to the game together, and I was on the website. We're up to 3,750 as of game time.
That's amazing.
So we'll be at 4,000 this year strong, probably a little more. And we're looking forward to a fun weekend in Seneca Falls, and we hope the weather cooperates a little bit with us.
We hope so. We know tomorrow is supposed to be single digits. And right now, all the players who have stepped on the court are in single digits. I don't believe we have anybody in double figures as yet. However, we do have Jamie Rosser leading all scorers with 8 first-half points. And your assessment of the first half so far?
Well, I think that name that you just said, Jamie Rosser, I remember Micah Wright from last year and Phil Tack and Jamie Rosser as well. But Rosser seems to be the guy that's most under control for both teams tonight, and he's doing a great job handling the ball. He's attacking the glass. He did get 1 3 to fall down on the roll, but he's been the difference. I'm looking forward to a great second half here, Dave. It was the score doesn't indicate a great game, but it's been a great game so far. A lot of intensity. And Micah Wright with the 3 to start the game off, to start the second half off.
And that gives Newark the largest lead for either team at 7, 30-23. As Micah was all right on that shot. And Geneva will have to settle themselves, finding a leader. As Jordan Donahue said, nice spinning move inside, and the Geneva hoop by Sims.
Well, two guys that played well in the first half, picking up here in the third quarter. Sims and Micah Wright leading their teams early on.
Actually, I believe that was Johnson. Pardon me for that.
Johnson? Okay.
But, and a bomb by Newark.
Micah Wright again. Let's see if they feed this high hand. He's got 2 threes to start it off in the first minute of the third quarter.
So he has 13. I said nobody in double figures. He went from 7 to 13 in a hurry, but answering with a land is Sims, who has 8 in the game, and the pace has seemed to pick up considerably. 33-27, stop and pop is an air ball, and Newark can't save it.
I think the scoring's picked up. Pace stays the same, but the scoring goes up. It makes it a little bit more enjoyable, even more enjoyable than early on to watch.
There's the land by Sims on the replay. And Dogus handling it.
Minder's making a little bit of comeback, Dave. 54-48 with 2 to go. Hollenbeck, the big man, has fouled out, and I guess Ruddy's starting to have his way down there at the Baker in Seneca Falls. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one.
Layup up and in by Geneva. They've been getting it inside. That's Akia Jackson with his second bucket of the night.
And here's Geneva putting in their patented 1-3-1.
3 ball, short, tapped up, no. Controlled by Newark. As Coach Havrilla said, we've got to rebound and run. Well, they're rebounding pretty well. Inside, open in the lane. Yes! Phil Tack, who played an excellent second quarter, gets his 3rd field goal of the night.
You know, both teams coming out showing different looks defensively. I don't know if that was a game plan going into the night, maybe save something until after the half so they can't make adjustments. But Geneva playing a little bit 1-3-1 to start, and Newark with a little full court trap press.
You know, exercise videos have been popular for a long time, and I think if they recorded Coach Havrilla's antics on the court, burn a lot of calories in an hour and a half.
Pretty good workout. He's pretty active down there, isn't he, Dave?
Very active. Mentioning that Minders game is we've got a quick 20-second timeout. Nick Ciotti, of course, looking to get that first win as varsity coach.
Well, that's a tough schedule to try and get your first win. He opened up in Clyde. Now he's home against Wayne. Looks like they're making a little bit of run at it. But, yeah, once you get that first one off your back, everything becomes a little bit easier. And I don't think anybody faults him for that Clyde game.
Well, great lunches are served daily in downtown Seneca Falls at Red's Place. Served with a smile. Come down and watch the big game on one of the, count 'em, 10 flat screen TVs at Red's Place, or visit them online at menshalloffame.com. One of the sponsors on FingerLakes1.com Sports. So 6-point Newark lead, and they have the basketball.
Well, we've got a couple games we talked about early on, the 3 games in the area, with one being in Minders, the other one in Lions, and then this one here tonight in Newark. And it looks like our producer, Jim Sinacropi, picked the best one. Minders making a little bit of comeback, but Clyde's up big on Lions, 40-25. And Minders down most of the game to Wayne. And I think we got the gem.
Don't be surprised if that Clyde-Lions rematch is much closer. That's just the way those arch rivalries tend to go. And nice feed inside, and missing the layup but getting hammered was Detillion Dennis.
That's 11, Jamie Rosser.
Oh,
You're looking
sorry.
at the Geneva roster.
Yes.
That's okay. And one thing I liked about Rosser, we just saw a sign up there, Jamie Rosser fan. I'm becoming a nice fan of him too. Great post position. He's going up with his left hand on the opposite side. Came in, he missed the shot, but he drew the foul. That shows good fundamental skills when a player can do that. He didn't get it to go in, but it was really the best shot he had.
And Rosser missed 2 foul shots early. Nice form on these 2. Nothing but the bottom of the net. And speaking of nets, they are hosting my Boston Celtics as we speak.
Celtics
playing surprisingly well in the
I love their coach.
poor Eastern Division. Jim Boeheim calls him the best coach in America. Oh, could have been called. I believe the Geneva player, Sims Jr., could have been called for a carry, and instead will.
Rosser had good position on that. If he never reached in, I think he did just what he wanted to do. He might have even gotten a charge, but he reached in and got the foul.
And Geneva trying to rally down 8. Nice moves! Was that Sims?
That was Sims going against, no, yep, that's not Sims.
Johnson with a bucket, and Terrell with a chance to complete the three-point play. He's got 8 in the game.
That's the problem with man-to-man out of bounds on that play. You start off with Phil Tack on Johnson, and then you have to switch at the block, and now you have Dingman on him, and he cannot handle him in the block. I'd like to see maybe a little bit more zone, give up the outside shot versus the inbounds play, and not those easy baskets.
And both teams seem to be playing with higher efficiency in the start of this half versus the opening stanza. Little head fake, baseline jumper is good by Collins.
That was a good recovery by Akia Jackson. Collins made a tough shot after the head fake.
Dogas thought about the 3-ball, instead leaves for a teammate, feeds inside, Sims turnaround, jump hook is good. Ten in the game for Sims.
That's a great shot by Sims in the paint. And, you know, these two guys are playing tough down here, Johnson and Sims, and that's what we talked about early on. Nice little jump hook.
It'd be tough to pick one standout player for tonight's game. Several major contributors on each squad thus far.
And that's why these two teams are atop the Finger Lake seats, because of their balance.
And what a move inside, but the shot wouldn't go by Collins. Everything went well except the shot. Geneva down 5. Dave Barnick along with Kevin Korzaneski. Jeremy Hunt, the cameraman, at work, and on the controls, Jim Sinakropi. And inside, you can just see the size difference even with a double team.
Yeah, Derek Morris got caught inside on the big guy, and that's where you're going to see Geneva struggle at points if they can't shoot, because a lot of teams in the Finger Lakes are going to have to play them zone. They're not as big and athletic as Newark.
Oh my, the bucket and the foul sneaking in. Akia with the bucket.
And I hate to hammer this point home, and I won't bring it up again, Dave, but the man-to-man out of bounds is really hurting Newark. Geneva's offense in the last few minutes, their best offense has been out of bounds plays. And you really shouldn't, that shouldn't happen at this level.
Well, if we could choreograph shots taken, shots made, you would see that paint area pretty well filled in. As Jackson, Akia Jackson and 4 others again makes the Jackson 5, makes the 3-point play.
Well, Geneva weathered the storm. I think they were down by 8 or 9 to start. You know, Michael Wright came out hot, and here they are trailing by 2. So they did weather that storm, showed some composure, and right back in this game.
Newark could use a bucket to steady things for the Reds against the 2-time defending champion Geneva High Panthers.
And I think that's why those preseason games are so important to these programs, because you get in the league, those are the important ones.
Long 3, no, tapped up high in the sky, but lost out of bounds.
And if this was Geneva's first game, you know, maybe they don't respond from the start of that half like that, but they've already played a couple games, they've had a feel for what's going on, so I think that's why coaches try to do those type of preseason games before the league.
Good point, Special K, spinning inside, and no, they're going to call him for steps. It's a nice move, and Brian Miller agrees the move was good, not so much agreeing with the call.
Yep. I love that Sims and Johnson are so active on that block. It's not just a simple drop step. It's not just a turn and shoot. They're really putting some nice moves down there on the block. That's a tough guard for these Newark guys. He just got away with a little bit of a walk there.
No look pass underneath. The basket is missed, and I was about to say a Geneva foul, but Newark, Roderick Morris on the travel.
Yeah, Derek got cut down there in a bad spot. Coach Spizzato from Waterloo used to call that the devil's rectum, Dave. Nobody wants to be there.
Joe Sposato still out and about in Waterloo, New York.
Yeah, he's on the bench again, just like Ron Cervolo here's in Newark, and he's giving Jeff Panic a hand.
Turnaround jumper off the window, too hard. Newark gets the rebound and scramble, sliding away. This is not ice hockey, but you could see the fracas taking part near the center court.
I thought Newark might have traveled. It looked like he had possession, then kind of slid on the floor.
I
That's a tough call. That's a bing, call. And
at the least, I thought we'd see a measurement for the first down.
That's right.
Boy, it was a wild and crazy weekend in the NFL. And we have a nice, tenacious game going on here. A key early season matchup, as we've noted, in the Finger Lakes East. The big guy out front, Ray Sims Jr., has 10 in the game. Dolgus for the 3-ball. And it's an air ball, and he's going to hear it from the Newark crowd.
About a foot and a half, 2 feet behind the arc, maybe a little bit out of his range. I'm not sure. We haven't seen him play this year. But looked like just a little bit too deep, came up short. And the crowd gives it to him real good.
Not out of Cooney's range, however. That guy's been blistering the nets. Driving to the hole and hacked in the act.
And Lyons has made a comeback, Dave.
It's Detillion Dennis, Jamie Rosser again.
We've got Lyons down 5 with 1:25 to go.
Zach Miller earning his dollars on the bench at Lyons.
Yeah,
that game is being played where?
That's in Lyons. He's home, and looks like Bogans had 4 fouls, which what led to the comeback for Lyons. And we talked about that the other night. Clyde's not a real deep team. You know, they got 5 pretty talented players out on the court. They bring a guy off the bench, but other than that, they can't afford to get in foul trouble. So that could be troublesome. That could be problems down the road towards sectionals and states for Clyde. But they still got the 5-point lead in Lyons.
Who did you say had the foul trouble?
Bogans, Jomaine Bogans.
Jomaine Bogans and Cam DeSanto.
Cam DeSanto had it last time against Minders.
They were the Upstate Hoops special guests this last week with Jim Sinacropi and Matt Berkey.
Yes, they were.
Rosser misses the free throw. He'll have another. And he gets that one to go. That gives him 10 in the game, Kevin.
Yeah, he's having a nice night, but he's doing a lot of other things that don't show up in a box score, Dave.
Long bomb. No, I'm not sure the coach liked that one, but he loved the follow-up.
Well, we got a nip and tuck game, a great follow by Akia Jackson underneath.
Jackson with a great inside position. And then answering with a 3-ball,
Ron Derrick.
Ron
Derrick Morris with a 3 from the corner. That's a nice little player off the bench, Dave. You know, he's not a starter for this team, but he comes in, he's quick, he can shoot. He had a double team there. But
double team in the reach-in.
Yeah, good call.
There we see the 3-ball up by Ron Derrick Morris, a name you like.
I like that name, Ron Derrick. One of my favorite names to call in this league, and Ron Derrick had a good game last time I was doing Newark.
Do you remember the long time, I'm sure he's passed on by now, public address announcer at the fabulous, or at the Spectrum in Philadelphia, Dave Zinkoff?
Dave Zinkoff, no, I've never heard that name. And again, another out-of-bounds layup for Geneva.
And who was on the bucket there?
That was Sims.
Sims again.
They send Sims away as a screener, and then they bring him back as the guy to receive it after the last screen.
And off the window, Rosser, I believe, with a bucket. Back and forth we go. 45-41 your score. Newark up by 4. Geneva with the ball. Nice move. One-hander won't go. A little too hard off the back iron. And we're going to have a blocking foul, and Coach Miller was almost saying why before the contact even occurred.
Yeah, he probably told him at halftime, you picked up 2 fouls away from the basket, you know, you don't need those ones. Get back. We're not pressing. I don't have you up there for a reason. Now here you are with your third foul going into the fourth quarter. Not that big of a deal because he's got 2 more, but just no reason for those fouls. And he'll learn as the season goes on.
He'll sit out the final 30 seconds, maybe a minute or 2 more. We'll see. And steal. Geneva High, led up and in.
Well work. He's given some great minutes off the bench tonight.
He sure has. That's 8 for him, his first non-3. And here's the steal. Well, and at the buzzer, no. So, 8 more minutes of basketball, a thriller. Geneva, the guests, trailing here at Newark, 45-43, and we'll be back with the start of the fourth quarter after this.
What was that halftime
We hold on to the things that really matter. Welcome to Generations Bank.
Hi, I'm Alan Larson. At Seneca Meadows, landfill gas is used as fuel to generate electricity to power between 12,000 and 18,000 homes. And because this fuel is burned at high temperature, it doesn't go into the atmosphere. To learn more, watch our videos at senecameadows.com.
One quarter of basketball to play. At least 8 minutes of basketball to go, Kevin Korzaneski.
Hey, that was the best quarter I've seen this year. That was an up and down affair. Newark got hot, Geneva got hot, then they traded baskets back and forth for a 2-point lead for Newark here. Looking forward to a great last 8 minutes.
Newark, no. Knocked out of bounds, it'll be Geneva ball with a chance, Geneva possession, with a chance to tie or take a lead with a 3 ball.
Lions cut the lead to 2 at home, and there's about under 30 seconds left there, and Minders ends up with a loss at home against Wayne, 59-56.
Here's a steal the other way. And Geneva gets back.
You know, I'm going to put my plug in for the Upstate podcast this week. They don't give me a vote, and I probably don't deserve one. But I really like this Newark team, and I think this is the team that might come out with a win here. Both these teams should be in the top 5, and they are, but I like them both over Clyde, Jim.
I think we might have had a technical foul called right there. Not sure. Heard that second whistle. Let's see. Yep,
we got
technical foul against Newark along with a foul.
We got a foul on a block call on Ray Sims Jr., I believe, which I think would be his 4th, but we have a technical foul assessed to guard Tyler Collins for Newark.
I wonder if a little taunting involved there, hard to say. But the score, 45-43, gives me a chance to say that the United States Navy, if you've been waiting for something more in your life, America's Navy may have what you need, like opportunity for hands-on training in any of more than 60 high-growth fields, help with paying for a college degree, opportunities to travel worldwide while helping to change it, work with cutting-edge technology, no experience needed to start. If you want to be a part of something bigger than yourself, America's Navy can help you launch your future today. America's Navy, a global force for good. Contact them today at 412-395-4680.
So just to clarify that, it looks like they called a personal foul on Collins, and then the technical, he's now got 2 fouls, no foul on Sims. And Akia Jackson just stepped up, knocked down the free throws, and pointed to the crowd and said, "You're not loud enough. You guys better get loud because I made them both." And
Did he make them both, or did
he made one? I'm sorry, 1 and 2.
Right, and a chance for Geneva to take the lead. They missed 3 out of those 4.
3 out of 4 foul shots. You can't have that. But if nothing else, it just elevates the intensity in here between these two teams in the crowd.
1-point contest, some contact, scramble for the ball. Tack comes away with it for Newark, and here come the Reds. Long down court pass. Driving the lane and laying it up short. Head fake, lots of contact. And a foul underneath on Akia Jackson.
I love the effort by Phil Tack down here on the defensive end. He is bodying down here against Terrell Johnson, and he dives to the ground to get the steal, which now we're on the other end getting foul shots, all because of Phil Tack.
Geneva calls the timeout. 1-point contest, 6:37 to go.
Here's our upcoming schedule for you, Dave, on the screen. Mid-Lakes. Well, you mentioned the Palmyra game, and then Mid-Lakes and that's Newark's upcoming schedule. Okay, there you go. Newark at Palmac, home against Mid-Lakes at Wayne.
Pretty good football team down there in Elmira this year. Elmira Free Academy losing, I believe, the finals to Aquinas. I was kind of squeezing for the Elmira team as some of those schools gather in those good athletes.
Yeah, they're playing on a different level than everybody else.
We see Geneva's schedule. They have Minders on Friday, the 13th. That's this Friday. Where's the calendar going? Followed by Wayne off their big win tonight at Minders.
And we got a final from Lions. Clyde wins the game by 1 point. I'm not sure how it happened at the end, but I think they were down 4, and they might have had a shot, so it wasn't as exciting as it sounds. But, good job with Coach Zach Young and the Lions for not giving up down 15 in the fourth quarter. Had a nice little comeback and must have made a pretty good game out of it.
Some pretty good basketball going on in Section 5 in Wayne County tonight. At the line for the Newark Reds will be Micah Wright. Micah also the sheriff on the rifleman.
You're dating yourself, Dave.
Jeremy watches that every Saturday. Don't kid yourself, Jeremy. Wright's free throw is good.
Is that a current show that's going on?
No. Chuck Connors played the rifleman. Do you know anything about Chuck Connors? Well, I'm going to alert you to that. As Wright here gets 2 out of 2. And
that's a Geneva crowd getting loud behind us now. And they've now elevated their presence in the game. You
don't know who Chuck Connors was,
I've heard the name, yeah.
Well, not only an actor, as Dolgus buries the 3.
Well, Dolgus showing the range on that one. I questioned it earlier, but he was just about the same spot when he airballed the one before.
His first points of the evening coming an awful good spot.
There's a big foul, Dave.
And I think they may have gotten Sims.
That's a long one.
With 6 minutes, that's a lot of time. He picks up number 4.
Yeah, and a silly reach-in foul. Instead of sliding his feet, he might be a little tired. He reaches in. No reason for him to do that. Looks like Geneva switched to a little bit of zone on the out-of-bounds on the baseline.
There's an air ball on the 3 ball. Down court leaking. Geneva high for the layup up and in.
Yeah, double mistake by Shamir Logans. He takes the long 3 air balls and then never hustles back.
Akia Jackson on the land. Inside feed Newark. Pump fake. And the second effort is good. Micah Wright.
And a great look by Phil Tack.
What a game for Wright. (17) unofficially. Tied at 49. Reverse won't go, and Newark with Tack comes away with it. Dribbling through traffic, taking a coast to coast, and negated by an offensive foul.
Coach Everett doesn't like that call, and I got to agree with him on that. Not a lot of contact. He was out of position. I think he's pretty low below the block. Let's take a look. Jeremy Hunt with another great replay. He's in the middle of the court, and he didn't have much of an angle on that.
That somersault hurt all the way up here.
That's right. I think Cavarilla might have ran into the locker room for a little bit on that one. I saw at the bottom of the screen. Well, what a game. Lace him up, Dave.
It was pretty amazing that he dribbled through that double team at midcourt to begin with. But Phil tacked with the hustling act to get things started on that break. But it didn't work out. It's tied at 49. Loose ball, no good. Rejected. Scramble. Guess who? Tack. Down court. Layup. Yes!
Ron Derek Morris. Settle the crowd down, Geneva.
Brian
Coach Miller
Miller
saying settle, settle, settle.
Brian Miller settling his team, trailing by 2. And a near steal. And a collision. And the ball's out of bounds. Still, Geneva ball. What a game.
This is a great game. This is a great look by Micah Wright. Up there to Ron Derek Morris, and we'll take the lead.
Z-Man, Zoran Bratcher.
You know, it's one thing to watch these early season games, but it's another thing with these kids. You can tell how bad all these players on the court watch it. There's nobody standing around. If they're standing around, they're not playing. These guys are on the floor. These guys are getting dirty and getting scraped, and they want this bad by both teams. I expect a great finish here.
Well, former coach Ron Savolo, much calmer than when he was coaching, but his face just as red as it was during his head coaching tenure, a very successful one.
Matches his old sweater vests.
Near takeaway, near foul. Geneva, shot clock at 8. Dolgus, who hit a big 3 moments earlier, tries a bomb. Yes!
That didn't look like a jump shot. He looked like he threw it up because the shot clock was going down. He got nothing but net. And Geneva hanging on without Sims.
Jordan Donahue said he had goosebumps. Now I've got them. Newark driving through a triple team and an offensive foul. Shamar Logan's made the basket, but it won't count.
No, and Trevor Doduro drew the charge, turned to the crowd, and he's trying to get the Newark crowd fired up.
Lots of time left.
The passion and excitement of this game is really great, Dave. Let's see if these guys can keep it under control for the last 4 minutes.
Dolgus probably feeling it a little bit after that slow start. And he dragged the foot.
Yeah, don't pick up that dribble if you don't need to.
Pretty good night's worth of entertainment for a couple of bucks for those who had the misfortune of having to pay the game.
If they're home enjoying the game, you know, hang on here because I think we're going to be exciting down the stretch. We're not keeping you up too late.
And this is going to be an over. Well, they let it go out of bounds. It'll be Geneva high ball. Just to finish the Chuck Connors story, because I know our fans riveted.
I'm sure they're on the edge of their seats.
Chuck Connors not only was a Hollywood actor, big tall guy, he played professional basketball with the Boston Celtics, Major League Baseball with the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Now that's an athlete. I should know more about him than
And
Dave.
Jeremy Hunt will tell you what series after the Rifleman he started. Come on, Jeremy. All right, right here, 52-51. The guest, the visiting Geneva High Panthers, 2-time defending Finger Lakes East champs, have the ball and the lead at the 3-minute mark of quarter number 4. The bomb won't go, and Newark with a chance to retake the lead.
Yeah, both teams starting to press a little bit. We got 2 turnovers, the last 2 possessions, and then an ill-advised shot by Walwork. Whoever's going to remain poised is going to win this game.
Bad turnover, layup up and in.
Don't know if one team's better than the other. Is that Akia Jackson on the layup again? He's been everywhere tonight.
Jackson with a thriller move.
I got it.
54-51. Geneva by 3. Near turnover again, a dangerous pass.
That's
the
a bad
bomb
shot.
from outside. And Newark, not the shot Havilla wanted for sure.
Newark's came up empty on their last 3 possessions, a turnover and a couple bad shots. Coach might want to think about getting a timeout to settle them down here.
Geneva now showing more composure here in the later stages of the game than they did earlier. They missed that inside shot, and Tack hustling knocks it out of bounds, but Geneva will have the ball. 2 minutes.
Here comes around Derek Morrison for Phil Tack, and Newark in the man-to-man underneath. Let's see if they can exploit that again and get an easy bucket.
And this time Newark anticipated, come away with a steal. And one player knocks another down. Button, who's got the button? And a Newark foul. Boy, they're laying it on the line, Kevin Korzanowski.
They are. That hurt watching. Zeron punched the floor there. Zeron Bratcher, and I hope he didn't hurt his hand.
His hand is sore. You can kind of tell, okay, the way he's trying not to.
And the emotions are really high right now. Get your teams in check. Be composed. You don't need the home run. You need a routine single here.
Well, Dogus had no hits through the first 3 quarters, but he's had 2 home runs for the 3 balls here in the 4th quarter. He is at the line shooting 2, as that is the 10th team foul on Newark. Nothing but net. That Geneva crowd to our left is a loud one.
They are excited, as well they should be.
(55-51) your score. Glad you could join us on Finger Lakes One Sports. And 2 out of 2 for Dogus. You know, if you hadn't seen Geneva, and we hadn't, you might have wondered, is this the guy to lead the point for Geneva? He struggled early, very shaky.
Yep. But he's doing a good job in the second half when it counts.
Redeemed himself, exactly right. And steps are going to be called on Newark's Shamar Logans.
You know, Newark in the last 3 or 4 possessions, Rosser and Micah Wright haven't been involved in the offense too much. And when you're going down the stretch in a close game like this, you don't want these guys handling the ball. You want the ball in Rosser's hand, you want the ball in Micah Wright's hand, and they're coming up with empty touches. And you can't have that in the final moments of a game that's going to really decide first place at some point this year. So, Newark's got to regroup and get the ball back to the guys that got him here.
Turnovers have been a key part of this game, as they usually are. Geneva now would like to extend their 5-point lead further while milking the clock a little bit with 1.5 minutes to go. And drawing the foul, and a pretty frustrated player, Shamar Logans, had a couple tough turnovers. One on that when he drove against the triple team. The bucket was negated. He was called for the charge.
Yeah, him and Shamir Logans are struggling a little bit here down the stretch. Geneva doing a good job holding on to the ball. If they can knock down their free throws, they're going to be in a good position to win this game.
Well, from his form, it looks like Dogus is the guy Brian Miller loves having at the line. He's made the first 3. And a chance for 4 in a row, which would give him double figures for the night. And again, pure.
Feeling confident, and there's a difference right now between Geneva and Newark over the past minute or 2, and it's been poised. And give a lot of credit to Geneva staying under control in this 4th quarter.
And I don't think the game went more than 4 points one way or the other in the first half. In the second half, we've had about a 15-point swing here, as Newark looked like they were getting a little space.
Yeah, Newark gets space. Geneva came back, and even when they came back start the 4th quarter, Newark just seemed more under control, getting better shots and better looks, and that has now gone by the wayside. And it's Geneva. They got a couple easy baskets off of Newark mistakes, and they've capitalized. Too many mistakes by Newark late here in the 4th quarter to keep this game as close as it should be.
A recorded version of this entire broadcast will be available for viewing immediately after the conclusion of tonight's game and permanently archived at www.fingerlakes1.tv and YouTube. Newark desperately needs a hoop here. Throwing it up and in. And the quick Newark timeout. Nice teardrop by Roderick Morris.
That's my favorite name. It's Ronderick Morris, Dave.
You almost named one of your daughters that,
Yes,
didn't you?
I was gonna. I thought about it. So that's a big basket, though, by Ronderick. Cut the lead to 5 with 1:17 to go. Let's see where Newark goes with it. Any foul, it's a double bonus at this point. I think with 1:17 left, I try to get up pressure, not foul, and see if I can get a steal.
And a chance once again to thank Generations Bank, Seneca Meadows, Reds Place, and the United States Navy for allowing FingerLakes1.com to bring you tonight's action. There you see it on the screen. Geneva 58, Newark 53. Coach Havrilla diagramming a press, and no doubt Brian Miller countering that.
Yeah, he's talking about a press break. Timeouts, there's still, Geneva has 2 timeouts, I believe. Telling the kids, take your time. If you need a timeout, use it. Don't do anything stupid. If you get in a trap, use your timeouts. And Newark trying to figure out their game plan, which is probably not following yet, with a little pressure.
That's a 5 count. Well, and Geneva calls the timeout just before the violation may have occurred.
Coach Miller called the timeout with the referee that's on his side, and they're having a discussion about it right now. I think there was a little confusion on that timeout, and Coach Miller is not very happy with it, so I'm not sure what happened. He's still giving the official. He didn't want to call that timeout. He's got 1 timeout left, and maybe not a bad timeout because it looked like there could have been another second. It could have been a 5 count. So
very close. I was watching the official. He was just about to hit that 5 second.
Yeah, he was on a 4.
mark.
So we got a full timeout here by Geneva.
Great efforts by both teams. I think Geneva has showed a little bit more poise down the stretch, which was they were trailing and they're on the road, which is quite a testimony. Maybe some growing pains headed in the right direction for them tonight. And Newark also is going to be very, very tough all year long. And with 1:17 left, lots of time.
And there's Coach Saravolo down there on the sideline, encouraging his Reds like he has for many, many seasons here. I coached against Coach Saravolo. I played against Coach Saravolo. Very well respected in the basketball world, and great knowledge and a great man.
And a great, rich tradition of high school basketball success here in Newark. Harold Weber used to like to say that Seneca Falls was famous for making pumps, and Newark for basketball wins.
That's good pressure by Newark. They almost got a steal. Great hustle by Phil Tuck. He's done that all night long.
He really has. He's been getting his nose into everything. Now they'll try to beat the 10 count. Douglas and Newark wanted the push off, and instead Douglas gets the call.
Not the guy to follow. He's knocked down 4 in a row, Dave. And I'm sure they talked about that in the timeout, so I'm not really sure why Rosser ran into him like that. And they had some decent pressure, full court pressure going.
And Douglas has really come through in this 4th quarter, scoreless until the 4th quarter, 10 points.
And it's not that Geneva's played real great down the stretch. They've just made less mistakes and taken advantage of a couple Newark mistakes with a wide open layup and making their foul shots.
Nobody could make a foul shot in the first half, it seemed. That's 5 in a row for Stephen Douglas.
That'll be addressed by both coaches, I imagine, at tomorrow's practice is the foul shooting.
Maybe they need to take some lessons from Syracuse.
There you go.
They shot nearly 90% of that Maui tournament from the line. So the lead is up to 7. Time now a factor. Driving and laying up in, and a quick timeout.
And I like that matchup. You got Micah Wright coming down, and you got Sims guarding him with 4 fouls. So Sims is going to lay off him a little bit. He doesn't want to foul out of this contest. So I would do that every time down, let him bring it down as long as Sims is on him, and take the ball to the basket.
I've got Rosser with 14 in the contest. The lead at 5. And now we know why there were so few timeouts called by either coach in the first half, saving them in case we got to a situation such as we have.
You know, Newark's just trying to extend the game right now, make it as long as they can, trying to get easy steals and putting Geneva on the foul line and hopefully struggle with the foul shooting. At some point, Newark's going to have to take the ball away from a few players, make them pass it into some guys that are in the scouting report as who do we foul. And Coach Avarella has that stats from the first couple games, who didn't shoot well for Geneva. He's got tonight's stats to look in the book. So at some point when they have to stop trapping and pressuring, they're going to look to see who they foul on this team. And I'm not sure which one out there is their weakest, but I'm sure Coach Avarella has that information.
We know that one guy he does not want to put back at the line, and that's the guy waiting to get one of these passes from the inbounder to Durrell. And that's Dogus. Dogus stumbling. Oh.
Dogus is really out of control, trying to beat that press a little too quickly. He doesn't need to beat it that fast, and he got bailed out. But he's got 6 in a row.
Kevin, are you this articulate in the classroom?
No, not so much.
A lot of videos showing, huh?
In fact, it's the first time Articulate and Kevin have ever been using the same
I
system.
don't think that's true. Matt Furkey just wants to get another piece of pie, according to Jim Sinacropi, while he's at home wishing he was watching this one probably. And Dogus has put on quite a show here in the fourth quarter. That might be the wrong word. He's exuded demonstrated some of that leadership.
Absolutely. We talked about are they going to have, you know, we talked about are they going to have this, and he's had it. He's done just what you want your point guard to do.
He
take care of the ball and knock down free throws.
And here's the fall away. Oh, that was a nearly in. Third effort is on the putback by Michael Wright.
And there's where the foul shooting. There's where the foul shooting paid off. He did miss one finally. I think he had 6 or 7 in a row before he missed one. And, you know, that helps cut the lead to 4.
A lot of people contributing for both teams. Next Tuesday, it'll be Minders entertaining Palmac.
Yeah, and that's a big game for Minders, Dave. They now are 0-2. Friday they have a tough task in the Geneva Panthers at Geneva, and I don't foresee them winning that game, but you never know. And then they could be 0-3 going into that Palmac game. So if you're a Minders fan and you're checking out what's going on this season, that'll be a big game because Minders is, you know, projected atop of Palmac. So we'll see what happens.
Waterloo struggled last year. I saw they lost by double digits this year in their opener.
Great, yeah. Waterloo's a young team again. They were last year, and they will be again this year. And they're not real big and physical in size. So Coach Jeff Bannock, you know, got those kids working hard, and you know, he's really a year away from being competitive each and every night.
And here's the turnover. 50 seconds, 45, driving to the lane, a little bit out of control. Layup, yes!
Yeah, Newark must have run out of timeouts. They've used 3 in a row here. Now they don't have a timeout.
But the lead only 2 as Bratcher got the lay-in, and then there's just a touch foul.
I like that foul.
Trevor DeDuro has not been to the line all night, but he'll go to the line here.
And that's why I like the foul. A little out of control there by Newark, but easy up and in, and Geneva a little tight around the collar right now.
This might be a case like some of those football games they talk about when it goes back and forth. Whoever has the ball last is going to win. It could be that way tonight, or you might be getting home even later than you expected.
Hey, if it goes into overtime, we always get that bonus check from Finger Lakes 1, so I don't have a problem with it.
Well, DeDuro rattles the first one in, his first point of the night, and a big one. This is an even bigger one.
It is bigger, because now they can come down and cut the lead to 1 or even tie it. I wouldn't force a 3 if I was Newark in either situation. A lot of time left.
He misses the second.
We got 28 seconds left for those of you that are home. So I still think that's a lot of time for Newark. They did kick it out for
open 3. And a foul from Geneva. will stop the clock and send Newark to the line. I think that might be, I'll tell you in a second.
Walwork was on the foul,
Rosser.
and I think Derek Rice, it's not even 1-on-1. So they're going to go inbounds here. Geneva in the zone. We have 20 seconds left in this game, and Newark down 3 with the ball. You don't need to force a 3 like you just did. Get the ball to Micah Wright, get the ball to Jamie Rosser, and get the ball in the paint. That should be a foul in Geneva.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh,
Holy cow. That's
I was
Ron
sure-
Plummer on the call. I don't like that call.
I was sure the trail official was making the call because the lead official did not see it.
That's huge.
And I had it exactly the same way you saw it, Kevin.
And the hardest part about that is you're talking about 16 and 17-year-old players right here. I have no idea where he got the call. That's Zaron Bratcher with a foul, but he didn't do anything. And now trying to regroup your 16 and 17-year-old kids after a call like that is going to be tough. Coach Everell has no timeouts. The one thing he should be telling his kids, don't force the 3.
Well, the long pass allowed Geneva quickly to recover, and the contact was called. And the free throw by guess who? Stephen Dogus. That's 8 out of 9 here, all in the fourth quarter. And the lights are getting dimmer here for Newark to pull off that late comeback.
He reminds me of J.J. Redick at the end of the Duke games. Not as pretty as a stroke, but he is just money on the line. He's now 9 for 10 in this fourth quarter.
Layup is good. And Newark or
Phil Tack with the easy basket.
Geneva. I'm not sure who called that timeout.
Newark called the timeout.
Okay,
Dave, yep.
I'm guessing their last one.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a very tough call, and then just from the standpoint of being a viewer.
As a fan, you don't want to see it. Geneva clearly drew the contact. Newark had possession of the ball. That should have been a foul. Newark shooting 1-on-1. Instead, we went the other way, and
would have been the 7th team foul. That one would have sent Newark to the line. So 12 seconds left, 12.1. Geneva with the basketball and a 3-point lead. So not out of the woods yet.
Well, I think the most important thing is you don't allow the ball into the 2 guards, Dalgos or Walworth. He's in right now, and I believe DeDuro's in, and he just knocked down 1 or 2. You force it to somebody else. So take that away, allow the guy from half court to come in, catch the ball, and try and foul him.
And hope for 2 misses.
Yep. And I'm sure Coach Miller has his best ball handlers and free throw shooters out there right now.
Been a great game, back and forth, many lead changes, many ties.
Uh-oh.
Did they get it in?
5 seconds.
Count.
Yep.
No. New life. Oxygen being pumped
You
into
get
the
a
Newark
little,
basketball team.
you get a little nervous when your first 2 screens aren't open, and that timeout should have happened about 6 seconds ago. But you get a little nervous. You see the first screen, doesn't work. Second screen, doesn't work. And then you say, now what? And if your first 2 screens don't work, you usually don't have too much time.
Really, in a situation like this, I might consider throwing it fairly long, and then if Geneva gets the ball, or excuse me, Newark gets the ball following them for the one-on-one.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff to think about, and you really, as a coach, want to do things you've practiced. You don't want to do anything. Rod Verke taught me that a long time ago. He said, don't do anything that you haven't practiced if you don't have to, and I've always hung on to that. So a lot of these thoughts come in, how many you up, how many you down, and you work on a lot of that stuff, but there's just not a time in high school to have too many of these scenarios. So with a 3-point lead, I still think Newark's okay with a 2. There's 12 seconds left. I don't know if they have any timeouts. I believe they're out. So that could take 4 or 5 seconds off. So coach might be saying, we need a 3. And if it's not there, on the kick out, if on the miss, you can't put it back up and in. You've got to kick it back out for another 3.
Well said. I think you summed it right up, Kevin. I agree. A quick 2 is fine. An open 3 you take if it's there.
But if you have no timeouts, a quick 2 might not help you too much.
So inbounding for Newark underneath their own basket is Micah Wright.
Geneva in the man-to-man to protect the three-point line, I believe. He might get a 5
they better
foul.
hurry, and
now you're going to have to get a 3.
this is Tack.
Don't force it. You got a lot of time.
Down to 7 seconds. Now
Great
5,
defense
and
by
there's the
Geneva.
turnover. And that one very well could do it. Unfortunate, Newark never got the shot off.
They trapped the corner, which was awesome, and then they denied the sideline pass back, and I think it was Dalgos again. Something that might not show up in the replay, but if you watch here, Tack gets it to a terrible spot, Michael Wright in the corner, but great trap here by Geneva, and then they get it back out here, and it was Dalgos with the steal. Dalgos got in there, and you couldn't see it really on the camera a little bit. The coaches stood up. Sims ended up with it, but Dalgos did a great job on that reverse, denying that reversal.
Sims, avoiding that 5th foul for this 4th quarter, was there with a very good defensive work on the sideline, went straight up with his hands.
Yep, and Coach Miller saying, back off, game over. Don't guard anybody, doesn't matter what they do. A 5-point game.
And Newark will fire up a 3 at the buzzer. It won't go, and that'll do it. A tremendous game. Back and forth we went, and Geneva celebrating their hard-fought victory over the Newark Reds.
Well, you know, this was a great game here tonight. Geneva made less mistakes down the stretch. Newark made a couple more mistakes, but Newark, there they were, right in it, down 3 with the ball, and couldn't get off a clean look. And what we said, Dave, it was going to be an outstanding game back and forth, and we thought it might be exciting. We were excited about it coming up. And
it
was
lived up to expectations.
Everything
Kevin
that we built it up to
Korzaneski.
be.
We'll dissect this one a little bit, going over the scoring totals of this 66-61 Geneva High victory over Newark when we come back after these words from FingerLakes1.com sponsors.
Great game.
We hold on to the things that really matter. Welcome to Generations Bank.
Hi, I'm Alan Larson. At Seneca Meadows, landfill gas is used as fuel to generate electricity to power between 12,000 and 18,000 homes. And because this fuel is burned at high temperature, it doesn't go into the atmosphere. To learn more, watch our videos at senecameadows.com.
Wrapping up a thriller from Newark High School. Newark gave Geneva all they wanted and more, but Geneva answered the bell, coming from behind in the second half to emerge with a 66-61 hard-fought victory over the Newark Reds. And with us, point guard Stephen Dogas. Congratulations, Stephen, on a great game.
Thank you.
And a little shaky start for yourself.
Yeah.
You had a couple turnovers, did not score a point in the first 3 quarters. Not that that is your primary job,
Right.
but once you got cooking with a couple of trifectas, then you kept Newark at bay with some outstanding free throw percentage, and great game. What's your assessment of it?
I mean, in the first half, you know, I wasn't hitting. I mean, I looked at my teammates and coaching staff, and they just told me to keep my head up and keep shooting and not even worry about it. I mean, as you can see, like I hit the free throws. I mean, I just concentrated, and then I just took my time.
Now, Newark had the slightest of edges at halftime, I think 27-23. What did Coach Miller say to the squad?
We all went in the locker room at first, just the team and us, and we talked about not getting down. We knew they were going to make a run, and I mean, all we had to do was just keep our composure, and that's exactly what Coach said. We got to keep our poise and composure, and we all knew they were going to make a run, so we prepared for it in practice, and Coach got us really prepared for it.
You scored a ton of points, your team, inside, off the inbounds passes, and in the paint. Explain.
We knew coming into this game we had a mismatch down low with Junior and Terrell, and we weren't really looking to shoot from outside, and I know we made a couple, but Junior and Terrell definitely took over down low.
Do you know how many foul shots you happened to shoot in that fourth quarter?
No, I just kept on shooting.
9 out of 10. So you're right up there with some of the all-time greats on a great contest. Newark gave you a battle. All you wanted and more could have went either way. And great balance. Terrell Johnson with 14, with 9. Akia Jackson with 14. Sims with 14.
Yeah.
Good balance. Great ball game.
Yeah, thank you.
And who's next?
Miners at home on Friday.
So you're looking forward to a little home cooking for a change. You've been traveling.
Yeah, I mean, we're ready for every game. So.
Well, Steve, thanks for joining us. We appreciate that. Oh, one final question. You said the team went into the locker room by themselves. Is that something that's normal? You talk among yourselves for a couple of minutes?
Yeah, we usually go into the locker room, you know, go over it with each other. I mean, that's what Coach lets us do. We talk it over and get a game plan going, you know, get our heads back in the game. And Coach comes in and then just wraps it all up.
Kind of giving you guys some ownership and responsibility. Yeah. Steve, great job tonight. Congratulations. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Steve Dogas here, Geneva High point guard, who had the huge fourth quarter and floor game. And nice of him to join us. One of those games where you know everybody put out 100% plus, and you feel badly for anybody who loses. And Newark showed some cracks in some of their composure maybe in the fourth quarter, Kevin, but their effort was outstanding, and they're going to beat a lot of teams this year and will be eager for the rematch.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
they're going to get better as the season goes on. Both these teams will. It'll be a great rematch. Coach Everella will get these kids playing a little bit better towards the end of games. You know, Collins is a junior, and he struggled. Some of the guards struggled towards the end of the game. I know Collins is a good player, and he's only going to get better as this season goes on and next year. So, you know, if you're a fan of the basketball or Geneva, Newark, or anywhere in the Finger Lakes, that rematch is going to be a heck of a game down in Geneva. Newark will be hungry for that. You can't fault either team's effort tonight. They both played great. One team made less mistakes down the stretch. I think at one point I said, you know, both coaches are kind of looking for singles and not home runs, and I think that's what Geneva did a better job of down the stretch. They made their foul shots. They didn't turn the ball over, and Geneva got their lead. What I believe is just from real sloppy, uncomposed play by Newark. And you know, maybe the ball was in some of the wrong guys' hands, but if it's in your hands, you got to be able to perform with it. So they got to step up. And we questioned Geneva's, you know, who's going to take over in the backcourt and what are they going to do without Sweeney. And I thought Dalgos was a perfect fit in that fourth quarter. Just heady, no mistakes, knock down the foul shots, don't turn it over. And, you know, he did a great job, and you know, very fitting for him right at the end, too, to get the denial on the reversal to help his team seal the victory.
Well, a pleasure seeing you and working with you again, Kevin, and look forward to many more along the webcast
As well
trail.
do I. As well do I.
And good luck with the big race Saturday.
Big race
and
Saturday.
Big weekend in Seneca Falls. It's a
Did you
wonderful
get your race
weekend.
bib yet?
My what?
Did you pick up your race bib yet?
I did not.
No, okay. Well, you still got time. You can get to Saturday before that race.
That extra, if I could get Jim Sinacropi to kick in the extra 10 for the late
registration fee.
But let's go over the scoring very quickly here. For the Newark Reds, Tyler Collins, unofficial scoring, 7 points. Roderick Morris, big second half, 9 points. Jamie Rosser, strong game throughout, 14. Zeron Bratcher, 2 points. Paul Dingman, 2 first quarter field goals for 4. Didn't play a whole lot after that. Micah Wright, your leading scorer for on the court for either team tonight with 19. Phil Tack, boy, a hustling effort by the Newark football quarterback with 8 points. On the other side of the ledger for the victorious Geneva High Panther, so we had Noah Barber with 3 points. We had Trevor DeDuro with one free throw for a point. Detillion Dennis with 2 points. Jack Walworth gave a big boost to the team with a couple of trifectas and 8 points in the game. Ray Sims Jr. with 14. Terrell Johnson with 9. And Akia Jackson with 14. And I guess you have to say our player of the game and our guest, Stephen Dogas, with 15 points, all in the fourth quarter.
That's an impressive fourth quarter, Dave.
So, winding things up here in Newark, hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed delivering it. The final score in Newark, Geneva prevailing en route, they hope to a third consecutive championship in the Finger Lakes East. Long way to go before that's decided. Geneva 66, Newark 61. Speaking for Jeremy Hunt on camera, Jim Sinacropi, Kevin Korzaneski, I'm Dave Barnick saying good night, everybody, and may the force be with you.